Hey, everybody, and welcome to the True Crime Squad. This is Katie Weaver. I'm here with my sister, co host, and partner in crime, Kristi Brower. Hello.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
How's it going?
It is good. It is going very well.
Awesome. Well, it
Good,
is
busy day.
Wednesday. Yeah. It is Wednesday, Night Case Updates, one of our favorite shows of the week to get to kind of pull everything in and draw it all together. Yeah. What you been doing all day?
What have I been doing all day? Well, I've been making songs. Made 2 songs.
hmm
And I've been working on 3D print stuff and got some orders to go out, which I'm really excited about. I printed a new guinea pig in new colors. So this is the
Oh,
pink and orange one.
oh, she's so cute.
And I got to show you the kitty. This little pink and gray kitty. Isn't she
Oh,
cute
oh,
with her
she's
long
so
tail?
cute. That's adorable.
And I will admit also, I spent quite a bit of time putting up TikTok videos because BB and Gigi now have their own TikTok account
Well, of course they do.
because they are so precious. They need to share their light with the world because
Mm.
it just makes everyone happy just to see their little
Well, and the
faces.
world damn well needs it.
Yes. Yes. So I will put a link to their TikTok up in the chat. Cause yeah, I wanted to share it with all of you. Please come follow us. We called it BB and Gigi Take on the World because they're
Of
going on their
course.
first camping trip here in a couple of weeks.
So
And
excited.
yeah, so I've got a lot of fun little videos up there, and we need followers. We only have 6, so
Oh,
that's not that
well,
many.
I'll be there.
So yeah, so come follow us. I will put our TikTok handle in the chat, but if you just search BB and Gigi, you will find us really quickly
hmm
because there's nobody else called that. And you'll recognize the kittens because you've seen them here on the show.
Of
So,
course.
anyway, I've been having fun with that. I got them a tent that they can hang out in my living room.
hmm
So that we can hold them, play with them, let them run around. Then if we want to let them just be in the tent, then the dogs can be around with them and the other cats, and they can interact with each other. But there's a barrier while everyone is
hmm
still adjusting, and the babies just are still getting used to all of the other living things in their lives. So
Yeah.
having a lot of fun with that. They actually really like it. They lay on their backs and bat at the dogs and stuff because they also know the dogs can't get in there, which is good.
Well, that is the way to do it.
Yes, it is.
Well, very fun. We've just been, our sister had surgery. Kara had surgery yesterday
Yes.
on her deviated septum. And so she's, doing the day after surgery thing. So we've both been over to check on her, though her daughter Mia is taking beautiful care of her and her
Oh,
husband.
she is.
So she is
Yes.
well cared for. But we both peeked in on her today to check in.
Yes,
Mars
we
likes to
did.
do a thing when somebody you needs a gift to do a box full of sunshine. So we'll go buy
Ah.
some kind of a box or a tote or something and then fill it up with all kinds of yellow things, which is perfect
Oh,
for
that's
Kara
cool.
because she loves yellow. But
Yeah,
anyway, so we
that's really
delivered a
cool.
box full of sunshine. Yeah, I know you brought her a darling nightgown.
I did, and I brought her a strawberry milkshake because I knew she
Oh,
could use that too.
absolutely. Yeah, poor girl.
I know. She's gonna be so much happier though. It turns out her septum's so bad that she's only breathing out of one nostril.
Yeah.
Didn't even know it. So
hmm Right.
give
She
her
went
a
to
couple weeks.
she went to
She'll
the
feel a lot
ENT
better.
for something completely different, and he was like, "Oh, do you know how messed up your face is?"
Yeah.
I realized I hadn't
Poor
posted on
girl.
Twitter yet, so I'm doing that quickly, or X
Oh
or
yeah.
whatever.
Whatever. It's
I
always going
honestly
to be Twitter
loathe
to me.
Elon so much that I wish we weren't even on Twitter, except for that we need Twitter. So here we are.
I know. It's definitely I don't know, man. Twitter is useful for a lot of things, but it's also one of the ugliest places on the planet.
Oh man, it really is. Of course, I say that, but there's a few places that I don't tread, like Truth Social, so and Telegram. So I think there may be worse places, but Twitter, man, Twitter is a mean
Yeah,
place. Oof,
it is.
yeah.
Definitely. Oh, Lee says, I take stupid toys like slingshots and fake fangs from the dollar store. Oh, I love that. That's really funny because that's all like
Yeah,
make you smile,
maybe entertain you
pep
for
you
a
up a
little
little
bit. Yeah,
bit. Yeah.
slingshot socks at everybody, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did get a couple more songs put out. Actually, I think we put three songs out today, right?
We did.
And yeah, so we have a couple of songs to share. So I don't know. Do we spread them out throughout the show? Do we just do them now? What do you want to do?
I think we should spread them out.
Okay.
Share the
All right.
wealth, man.
Well, then let's kick off the show. We'll start with we have two versions of James and Elena.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
do you,
did a James and Elena light version and a James and Elena dark version because the light version is funny and kind of makes me think of the dumb James and Elena story, but it's also like, yeah, but they're murderers, and so it's kind of not funny. And
mhm.
so I did two versions of it, which I think is kind of interesting.
Uh-huh. They turned out the feel is very different.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what do you want to air?
let's air the light version.
Okay.
But the dark version is they're both on our SoundCloud, so you
Hmm.
can go hear them. But we don't even have to listen to the whole thing. But I'll play a little bit of the light version.
Okay.
When the night falls and stars light up the sky, my heart races fast, she's my reason why. Elena, my goddess, with a smile so bright. In her eyes, I see my light. Oh, Elena, you set my soul on fire. In your embrace, I find my deepest desire. Every touch, my heart soars higher. You're my girl, fueling my morning fire. Her laughter's like a song, so sweet and true. In her arms, there's nothing I can't do.
So yes, of course, Loin Fire is in there.
Yeah.
Storm is also in there, but it's kind of subtle. But if you'll see.
Yeah.
But then go over to SoundCloud to hear the whole thing, and also to hear the dark version because it's how do you not do a dark version?
Yeah. 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 Well, it is boy band vibes. Yeah. That was
Oh yeah,
the
it was
style.
totally boy band. That was definitely my goal. Because I was thinking like teenage love type energy, because that's what James and Elena really comes across with.
Hmm. We should have. It would have been nice if we probably couldn't, but have a 13-year-old singing it because it seems right. At least that it gives her visuals she doesn't want to see.
Is the dark version boy band or emo? It's more emo. It's pretty it's more dark and twisted.
Hmm. As they deserve. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're killing ourselves with these songs. It's so funny.
It is. It's really quite fun, and knowing that we can throw in some some real words and statements and stuff that we know from these cases really is fun.
Hmm. I will never get over the Ballad of John Pryor.
No, the Ballad of John Pryor should win a Grammy, except that it's AI, so it won't, but that's okay.
Yeah. No, but it deserves it, really. Can't there be an AI category? Yeah. I think it should be.
Probably eventually there will be.
I think it should be played at CrimeCon, but that's just me.
Yes. I agree.
CrimeCon, if you're watching, and I know you are,
Yeah, come on.
you
Did you
could
know that
publish
there
our
are true
album.
crimers writing music right now? Okay, I'm not writing music. We're writing the songs. We're not writing music. Oh, yeah.
Mm-mm. We're doing the best we can. Okay, well,
Yes, we are.
there's actually a lot in the crime world this week. We've been kind of disjointed on, I don't know, true crime over the summer is weird because we kind of hit this period where there's just not a lot of cases at trial. And we've kind
Yeah.
of been in that spot for the last little bit, because people like go on vacation and shit. But
Mm-hmm.
today is also Pioneer Day. This is a very auspicious
Oh.
holiday in the Mormon world.
Or Pie and Beer Day.
Yeah, what did I say?
No, you said it right.
Oh, yeah.
All the non-Mormons call it Pie and Beer Day in Utah.
Oh, Pioneer Day. Yeah. Yes. In the LDS faith, this is Pioneer Day and celebrates, well, our ancestors for sure, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody else who came across the plains. And so this weekend, there will be huge celebrations where we live in Salt Lake City. In Salt Lake City, they do this parade called the Days of 47 Parade. And that's because it is 47 miles long. I'm kidding.
Oh my
It's
God.
not. But it feels like it when you do marching band in it in the dead of summer, which we did and nearly died one year. It was awful. Yeah.
Oh my God. We were wearing wool uniforms, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 100 degrees. It was awful.
Awful, awful. Yeah.
I would definitely die now if I did that.
Oh, God. I can't even imagine. I wouldn't even attend it. It's just too hot and too many people and too much. But anyway. But so if you live around here or if you live in Utah, you're definitely seeing big celebrations going up over the weekend. There's a huge parade that goes on here in St. Anthony, as well as street festivals and big rodeos and fireworks, and it's like the 4th celebrated all over again here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
It's like Mardi Gras without all the sinning. Yep, it's like Mardi Gras
Yes,
without
it
the
is,
sin,
Angela.
Yes.
You are right. That is true. Good point.
That's funny. Well, let's get going. We do have a lot to cover, even though the crime world's a little weird. Talk to us about the guy that is in trouble. Oh, wait a second. I do have to say one thing. My Sarah Boone wig came. And it is so funny.
Oh, it is, you guys. It is fabulous in every way. It's going to make the Sarah Letters from Sarah segment so much better. And it was already great.
Because it's so damn funny. I mean, maybe. I don't know why it's taking an hour to upload one picture. There we go.
Oh.
Here we go. Behold, the Sarah Boone wig.
and you got the Sarah Boone
frown
down. Very good there. Yes. I'm impressed.
One of our dogs wouldn't let me kiss him wearing that wig. He was all confused. Rico was like, yeah, I don't know you. Go away.
Yeah. The hell is this? Oh, that's funny.
Oh, bring on the letters there, Sarah, because I'm ready. I'm ready now.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to us about the guy in Idaho Falls that thought it would be cool to deface a bunch of property.
Sometimes people are jackasses and just deserve a little notoriety for that. That would be this guy right here.
Mm-hmm.
So he is charged with throwing 11 electric scooters in the Snake River. This is Nathan Frost, who clearly works for Domino's, or at least used to. I don't know how Domino's feels about him now, because what? So I'm sure y'all probably have this in your area, but we have a big green belt around the river in downtown Idaho Falls, and we have a lot of electric scooters that you can rent and drive around, and people use them. I mean, they don't just use them to ride on the greenbelt. Some people actually, in the summertime, use them to get to and from places because we don't really have much in the way of public transportation.
No.
So on the 14th of July, the Idaho Falls police were sent down to John's Hole Forebay, which is just a place in the river it's a dock, because it turns out some people saw a man, later identified as Nathan Frost, throwing electric scooters into the river. Yeah. He was riding a one-wheel motorized scooter along the Greenbelt, and police caught up with him on his scooter that he didn't throw in the river, just everybody else's. And
Sure.
these are like privately owned. It's a privately owned business that owns these
Mm.
scooters,
They're
and you
bird
like
scooters, aren't they?
bird scooters, and there's an app, and you can pay to
Yeah.
ride them and stuff. And I mean, sometimes they get all the way on the other side of town, and because people use them, they are necessary
Yeah.
in our area. So they pulled up to him, and he just kept on riding his one-wheeled scooter while the police, in cars were following
Mhm.
him because, yeah.
Apparently getting
Um,
out was too big of a problem.
yeah. So then he just jumped off his scooter and took off on foot because somehow that was going to save his ass. I do not know. But they did catch him as he ran on foot. He was booked into the Bonneville County Jail. He's been released on pretrial supervision on his own recognizance.
Mhm.
Those scooters are worth $699 a piece,
Mhm.
and once they've been in the river, they are ruined. It's also a really big deal because they have lithium-ion batteries in them, which means that they have to get them out of the river ASAP because
Mhm.
lithium-ion batteries would be really damaging to the water supply. And it was a huge deal. It's dangerous. This part of the river is dangerous.
Oh yeah.
And the guy who owns the scooters had to get some people out there that could get into that dangerous water and get all his scooters
Mhm.
out so that it would not be, creating a hazard in the water.
Mhm.
And now he's down 11 scooters. So, Nathan Frost, fuck off, man. What are you doing?
Right? How rude.
He has
How
not been convicted
thoughtless.
of a crime. I will say that. He is
Charged.
charged.
Yeah.
The hell, man? That's somebody's business. And there
Yeah.
are people that people that live downtown, ride those scooters around to get to and from their jobs, to get to and from grocery stores, stuff like that. Why would you mess that up for people? I don't know, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Just dumb.
Rude. Thoughtless, rude. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I hope you have the day you deserve there, Nathan.
Yeah.
Well, we're hearing a little bit in Kohberger. So there's been a couple of new filings in Kohberger. And one of them, this comes from Ann Taylor from the defense. This is her witness and exhibit list for a motion for change of venue.
Oh, interesting.
So
Okay.
her witnesses, and we'll do a little research on these people so we can tell you a little more about them later, but the witnesses are Bryan Edelman, PhD,
Mm.
James Todd Murphy, Aminai El Alaya,
Mm.
PhD, and Dr. Veronica DeHeer, and that has a parenthesis that says she may be called as a rebuttal witness.
Ah, okay.
And then exhibit disclosures, an MPD press release, live press releases and interviews to be hand delivered, blah, blah, blah. Declaration from Dr. Edelman and their CV. Motion for filing under seal is the PDF of the PowerPoint survey analysis and list of local media stories. Those were sealed. TrueScope infographics and CV of Todd Murphy. So Todd Murphy must be the owner of TrueScope infographics.
Mm-hmm.
Another
Probably
motion.
the folks that did their survey.
The survey, yep. That motion, there's also a motion for filing under seal for that was also granted. The affidavit of Scott Sundby. Exhibit E is Dr. L. Alai's report and CV, also sealed. And Exhibit F is Veronica DeHeer report and CV, which I'm assuming was also sealed. So those are the things that they are going to be bringing to the table in that argument. And that change of venue hearing is coming on August 29th. So we'll keep an eye on that. But there hasn't been much movement. Yeah, there hasn't been much movement in about a month in Kohberger. So I was surprised to see anything come up. But here we are.
Well, but it's about the time, I mean, they're shooting for a trial just about a year from now. So, and I'm not surprised that they're asking for change of venue. I think they'll probably get change of venue. It's a small
For
place.
sure they will. Yeah.
It's, it doesn't have the the population density needed for a jury for a quadruple death penalty
Yeah.
murder trial. You know what I mean? So it's similar to Daybell in that case, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if it gets moved to Ada County because,
Mm-hmm.
well, we don't have very many counties that do have a jury base for something like this.
Mm-hmm. No, poor Ada's gonna get dumped on again, I'm afraid.
I w-
Sorry about it,
I
Ada.
I don't know, or maybe Coeur d'Alene. I don't know, but but
Maybe. I
Coeur
don't think
d'Alene's
Coeur
not
d'Alene's
near as
big enough
big.
either. Yeah.
That's our problem, guys. There are only 1.7 million people in the entire state of Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
There are not that many of us.
Yeah.
We are a big state by geography. We are a small state, very small state by population. So
Yeah.
it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that. I would like to stream that hearing. I'm hoping we can. There's also a hearing coming up on the 29th for Jeremy Best that we are hoping is streamed. And if it is, we're going to stream
Yes.
that too.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on that one as well. But in the meantime, some pretty wild news from a really iffy haunted house you guys have probably heard of back in
Oh
Tennessee.
my God, you
Ooh.
guys. Well, yeah, there's a Hulu documentary about this haunted manor. It's called McCamey Manor. It's a haunted house attraction. It's kind of come under scrutiny in the past. It is extremely terrifying. Like really extreme tactics, like stuff that
Like physically abusive to the attendees, kind of scary.
yes. Yeah, like people and they go there and they sign a waiver and they know, but they can be subject to getting dragged by heavy chains or locked in confined spaces while water pours in. Like it
Yeah.
isn't just come scare me for Halloween. It's like literally experience horror physically.
Yeah. People have to sign
Um
major waivers and stuff. People have been injured there many times. It's insanity.
yeah. It's nuts. I mean, we had something called the haunted forest here for a long time when we were kids. And it was like a haunted house, only it was outside. And everything was real. And you were walking through down this forest path and a guy would ride by,
He's making so much noise on your microphone, just so you know.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, Sanders, you got to quit that. She keeps rubbing her head on my microphone. She won't stop. Like the headless horseman was literally a guy on a horse. There was a guy that would light a blowtorch in a bonfire and chase you with it. Like it was,
Yeah.
and they eventually had to close because their insurance could not continue to support them.
So they are back, or someone is this year.
Are
been
they?
Yeah, there's been
Oh,
job
wow.
listings floating around Facebook for
Interesting, because
new,
it went
haunted
away for a
river.
while because they just couldn't maintain their insurance policy anymore because people got hurt, but they weren't actually trying to hurt people. But
No.
this
But I'll
freaking
tell you
place
what, being down
is
by the river and having the headless horseman come crashing through the river towards you,
terrifying.
never run
Yeah.
faster, man. Yeah.
Yeah, like why would you want to go to a place that could physically abuse you? I don't know.
Ooh,
But that being said, the owner of this place is Russ Allen McCamey, and I'm going to show you a picture of him. Because he's charged with some pretty bad crimes now.
Yeah.
This is him. First of all, think of that face coming at you in the dark. I don't know. Seems a little sketchy to me. Well, he is now charged with attempted murder, rape, and domestic assault with some incidences that occurred. So this was on July 19th. So with some incidences that occurred the week before that. This is being called domestic violence. So this is a wife or a girlfriend, someone that has some familiarity with this man. They're not explaining the exact relationship at this point.
Yeah.
He was initially charged with assault, and then all this other horrible shit came out. The allegations are that he tried to kill this woman 2 Wednesdays ago, and then assaulted her again on Thursday. And then he allegedly tried to kill her again and raped her on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And that she lost consciousness during both attempts to kill her, which indicates to me it was probably attempted strangulation,
Yeah.
but we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
So this guy's already been under some scrutiny because of this weird business he owns, and I don't know why anybody wants to like pay to be abused. I don't understand that. His bond is now set at over $100,000.
Yeah.
We don't know if he has actually posted the bond or not. There's a lot of stuff that's still really heavily under wraps.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll be keeping a close eye on this.
Yeah.
Because this is scary. I mean, the stuff that he does is abusive. And it does kind of
Yeah.
indicate, like, what kind of a
Who is this
personality
guy? Right.
starts a business like that?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Angela said it's almost like fetishism. I know. It really makes me wonder.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's surprising that
No.
he gets off on hurting people. I think that's pretty clear from this weird place that he runs. So
Yeah.
anyway, we'll be keeping an eye on him and on that case, and I hope that the victim is getting everything that she needs and is safe.
Yeah.
Because
for
if he
sure.
makes bail and is out,
Yeah.
what's the I'm kind of amazed that $100,000 is all they set.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? So scary guy,
Very
scary
scary.
situation.
Absolutely. Let's see. Let's talk about Sonia Massey. So
Oh,
we
this.
shared
Oh
with
my
you a
God.
couple of days ago this Sonia Massey, the vest cam footage from her murder. Of course, she was murdered by Sean Grayson of the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office. He has, of course, now been fired and charged and is being held for trial. Do you guys remember? I shared you a little bit of dispatch
Yes.
that indicated that this was a self inflicted wound. Remember that?
Yep.
Her father has now told People magazine that they were told two different versions of how their daughter died. They were told that they were assuming that it was the intruder, that there was an actual intruder at her house that had killed her, and the police found her deceased. They were kind of allowed to just think that. And then they were told that it was self inflicted. And they let them believe that for a while until, of course, they got Ben Crump on the job and they finally were able to learn that, oh no, she was murdered by the police. But both of those stories were floated to her family, and they were allowed to
Holy
believe
shit.
that. They were allowed to believe that she killed herself when she was shot in the face by a police officer.
She was murdered by a cop. My God. That is hideous.
Yeah, absolutely hideous. In the meantime, he's been in court for a hearing, and the police that were present gave him zero fucks. This dude has no support. Nobody's looking at this going, yeah, that was definitely justified. No.
No, but there's a lot of just being quiet about it too
Yeah.
in the law enforcement community. And I wish that there were more police coming forward saying, we condemn this with our full chests.
Yeah. 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 Imagine if that was your mother or your daughter. Yeah.
We do know that he's had a history of DUI, that he had several DUIs, and that may be part of what led him to all those different jobs.
Mm-hmm. We're not sure.
Mm-mm.
Yep. I hope that all of that comes out in his trial. I really do.
Oh, I bet it will.
Yep. Yeah, the civil lawsuit will definitely have a lot of meat to it. You're right,
It
Jamie.
will.
It definitely will. Yep.
How is this moron still a cop?
Mm-hmm. For
Ugh.
sure. Yep. So that's what's up. Yeah, he definitely never took any de-escalation training or just didn't care.
I
Just didn't care at all.
Wouldn't
Because
use
he
it.
had absolutely no intention of de-escalating that.
It really even wasn't an escalation. I mean, she had paranoid schizophrenia, and you know, but she wasn't actually trying to harm him. She didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Insane.
Hmm. I agree, Lee. When he told her to go get that pot off the stove, he knew what he was going to do. Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with
like
that.
this was going to be his excuse.
Hmm.
God.
Hmm. Yep.
Ugh.
So, per always, so much love to the Massey family.
Yes.
Sonia had a 15-year-old and 17-year-old, and her
Oh,
dad said they are having a terrible time. I can
I
only
cannot
imagine.
imagine.
So, all of the love to those kids and the rest of her family.
Yes.
Yep. But now you know, when we heard that bit, that just sounded real sus to me. This is why they were
Yeah.
trying to sell it off as being self-inflicted. The problem was when they got there, they asked him where the gun was, and there was no gun because she didn't have a gun and she didn't shoot
No.
herself. Yep.
No, she shot herself. She didn't shoot herself. She was shot with a cop's gun.
Yeah. Yep. But so that was a real preliminary. You're right. The sheriff's office, at least to some degree, at least someone there went along with this enough to be passing that along through dispatch as well as let the family believe that. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's bullshit. What the hell?
mhm, yep, absolutely. Yeah. All righty. Well, on that note, let's talk about bullshit. Let's talk about Ruby Franke and Jody Hildebrand's trip to sentencing statement.
Yes. So, some interesting things going on there. This is these two jackasses. Remember them from Utah? They've both pled guilty to 4 counts of felony child abuse.
Hmm.
So, some good news here. There was initially a parole hearing set for them in September. So, you remember how this all goes down in Utah? The judge makes recommendations, and then the parole board basically decides how long somebody stays in prison in Utah, which is kind of weird.
Hmm.
So the parole hearing was initially scheduled for September 2024. That did not mean that they would be released. It was just the first time that they were going to consider it and take a look at it.
Right.
So here's the statement that came out from the parole board. The board has conducted a scheduling review to determine the date of your original hearing in compliance with Utah administrative rule, blah, blah, blah. In setting a date, the board considers your minimum sentence, sentencing guideline, sentencing reports, the nature of the offense, victim impact in applicable cases, rehabilitative needs, and other relevant documentation. And so basically what they determined is, yeah, nah, we don't need to be having a review for you guys quite yet. They have ordered the Department of Corrections to complete a mental health psych review before that first hearing, and those reviews are due November 1st of 2026. They're also requiring them to participate in cognitive behavioral therapy.
Hmm.
So they will not even be looking at their case for at least two years from now.
Hmm.
Well, 2 years from the end of this year before they ever even consider it. And that does not mean
Yeah.
anything. It does not mean that they would be released at that time. It could, but it could just mean that they go, yeah, no, you're not ready. You're getting out.
Hmm.
So we know that the charges are 1 to 15 years per charge. We've kind of been through all of this, but here's the thing. The first charge expires, because remember, these are consecutive. So the
Hmm.
first charge is set to expire on 8/30 of 2038, the second on 8/30 of 2053, the third on 8/30 of 2068, and the final charge on 8/30 of 2083. That would be if they served everything.
Hmm.
We know it's unlikely that they will, but I'm really glad that the parole board kind of went, yeah, we don't need to be talking to you people yet.
Yeah.
You need evaluated. You need to go through some therapy. We need to see what you're going to do here
Hmm.
first. I was wondering that too, Kristi. How will Jody feel going through CBT herself. Because I'll tell you what, CBT is going to be challenging a lot of that really disordered thinking that she has. It's going to be a big challenge because it's going to challenge absolutely everything that she was teaching.
Yep.
Yeah. So they can, after those evaluations, they can still have the hearing in 2036 or 2026, or they can decide to wait and push it back again. But the initial hearing is basically just to establish kind of where are they going from here. And they decided that they need way more information before they even want to have that hearing. So, good news. Utah's hanging on to them. So,
Yep. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Karen Reed. There is a trial date set for Karen Reed. That's going to happen in 2025. It's supposed to start on January 27th, 2025. John O'Keefe he died on January 2022 or 2022. Good Lord, get it together. January 2022. So it'll be 3 years later. She's going to go to trial again. So there's a ton of things being filed. The defense, they'd like to change a lot of things right now, but we'll see what happens. The judge is pretty stalwart. But there was also an announcement yesterday that 3 more state troopers with connections to Karen's case are under investigation. So Detective Lieutenant Bryan Tully, Sergeant Yuri Buchanan of the state police, as well as Lieutenant John Fanning, are all under investigation, internal affairs investigations.
So what do they think they're going to accomplish with trying her again when all these cops that were witnesses in this trial are under investigation? I don't get it.
It's hard to imagine, really. But this has to do, it sounds like, with all those texts. All those very ugly texts that were sent around about Karen, defaming her. But I mean, basically these are all the same people that were connected to Proctor, who, is now completely out. So I think you're right, actually, about that. Fanning was cleared. He was investigated, but he was cleared. But the other 2 are also being investigated. So currently I think it is on all 3 charges, but there's still a big fight going. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, you're right, Leanne, on that. Fanning was cleared. He was investigated and cleared. Yeah. So they can't believe they lost, and apparently I think it's insanity to go back to court on this. I think they'll just have a hung jury again. I can't imagine that they're going to get anything other than that. And if they end up with a different judge, they could even get an acquittal, considering that this judge was actually really hard on the defense. So we'll see.
Right. I don't know what this is going to be.
Yeah. And yes, Proctor was the investigator in the Brian Walsh case coming up. Yeah. We're not done with this fool yet. Yeah.
Ugh.
But so far, that's what's coming in Karen Reed. Her trial should be in about 6 months. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that one as well. Let's see, Kristi. Oh, actually, let's take a musical break.
Let's do.
Let's listen to The Dark Tale of Lori Vallow.
Let's do.
In the shadows of a twisted tale, Lori Vallow's name prevails. A shallow heart, a smile so cold, a story that must be told. Her children lost their lives in vain, her husband's blood upon the plain. With chanting bell, a partner in crime, they wove a web of sin and crime. Oh, Lori, where's your golden crown? In Idaho, they pinned you down. You thought you were a god. Hawaii, they danced and laughed, hiding from the aftermath. With rings and vows, they tried to hide the darkness that they held inside. A translated being she proclaimed, but only chaos she sustained, manipulating hearts and minds, leaving broken souls behind. Oh, glory, where's your golden crown? In Idaho, they pinned you down. You thought you were a goddess free, but prison bars hold your destiny. Jesus knows you, that's what you said, but now your dreams are cold and dead. A golden vagina, or so it seems, but now you're haunted by your schemes. Now the gavel's fallen, fate is sealed, no more lies to be revealed. A lifetime spent behind those walls, where no one heeds your hollow calls. A goddess caged, too tragic, and no light, no love, no more to pretend. The price you paid, the path you chose, in Idaho your story froze. Oh, glory, where's your golden crown? In Idaho they pinned you down. You thought you were a goddess free, but prison bars hold your destiny. No more lying, no more lies, just a future of silent cries. Glory Vallow, your tale is done, a shallow heart forever shun. No more running, no more lies, just a future of silent cries. Lori Vallow, your tale is done, a shallow heart forever shunned.
That was fantastic.
And there you have it. I don't think we can copyright it, Tina, because it's AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, I love it. Now we need a song about the Veilers, Jody, Julie, and Lori. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
No kidding.
So there you go. When can you see it performed live? Absolutely never.
No.
But there you go. So that's over on our SoundCloud as well. These are bops. It's crazy, but they're actually like that's a banger, man.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
I thought the hard rock was good on this one. I tried it out in more of a lyrical, and I hated it. It was too nice
it
for-
needed to be. That's the thing. That's why I did the. Maybe we'll have time. We'll play you some of the dark James and Elena, because it was like, I mean, I know that's how they saw it, but reality is no. This was super dark and gross.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. A song specifically for the Seven Gatherers. Now that would be funny.
That would be fun.
Well, let's move on because we still have
Yeah.
plenty left to talk about. Let's see. Oh, you've got some FBI updates on the Trump shooter.
Yes. This is some interesting stuff that I think we need to know, because we pay a lot of attention to mass shooter people, because, well, we need to. So the FBI director has come out with some information about what basically what Thomas Crooks had with him and what kind of appeared to be his plan. There's also a lot of indication that there was a lot of planning that went into this. So they found 3 kind of crude explosive devices that they believe there were 2 in his vehicle, and 1 was in his home. Now, I had first heard they were on him, but I guess they weren't. They were in the car. And they were kind of crude bombs, but they were set for remote detonation, and he did have the detonator on him. They believe that he never did try to set them off. He was shot and killed before that could happen, but he had plans to remote detonate. Did he have plans to remote detonate at his own house as well as in his car? Like, he built these things. He planned this. This was not, I don't know. This is much more, it appears to me that this is much more a mass shooting than it was an assassination. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what were the explosives for other than to just blow up random people?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't going to go for any politician. That was just to cause mayhem.
Well, he had searched out Trump's stuff. He'd also searched out Biden's calendar. Like, he was looking at
Right.
what everybody was doing. Yeah.
Right, and it just happened that Trump's campaign came to his town. I don't think that this was politically motivated. This kid wanted notoriety. They've gotten into his phone, but excuse me, he was using encrypted messaging apps, and they don't really know who he was talking to or for what reason, or if he had any accomplices.
Yeah.
The way that all of his stuff was encrypted is really questionable. It makes you wonder who he was talking to. He used a drone to scout out the rally location. They found his drone, and they know from GPS that he used it there. The drone and controller were in his vehicle at the time of the shooting. So he used it on the day of the rally.
Yeah.
He flew it up around the venue between 3:50 p.m. and 4 p.m.
Yep.
And the drone was around 200 yards away from the stage during, where the rally was going to be happening when it was up in flight. So some interesting things they're finding out. A lot of indication of how much premeditation there was here. Which is really concerning. We also know that he had interest in Ethan Crumbley and had been researching Ethan Crumbley.
Yeah,
it's kind of odd because Ethan Crumbley was a school shooter. And I don't know. I don't fully understand, like, why it would be what Ethan Crumbley's crime would do for him. I just don't know. We also know that the director of the Secret Service has stepped down.
Finally. Ooh.
After an absolutely disastrous hearing in front of Congress in which she just lied her ass off and refused to say.
Yeah.
So there were major problems there. Obviously, security was handled terribly. And right. How was there not security on that roof? It was only 150 yards. Crazy.
And there was security on all the other roofs around, but just not that one. Why?
Yeah. Why not that one when it was so close? Yeah, I think you're right, Kaylin, that, Ethan Crumbley's name is very well known and that he wanted to be notable. Yep. It made me wonder also, though, because you know that Thomas Crook's, the gun that he used, the AR-15 style, I don't know if that's exactly what it was, it belonged to his dad.
Yeah.
And I found that very interesting, considering the Crumbley case and the Crumbley parents.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder if he's wondering if his parents will be involved or his dad. I don't know.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on with that kid, obviously.
You know what scares me? He was working in the kitchen at a nursing home.
Yes, he was.
And I agree that maybe he was considering a school shooting, but school's not
Not
really in
in.
session right now, and this big rally came to town that was a great place to do it. Uh,
Right.
can you imagine a mass shooting in a nursing home? The thought of
No.
that just
And it
horrifies
is
me.
terrifying.
I mean, everything that happened is horrible. I'm not to downplay what he did do, but the fact that he worked at a nursing home scares the hell out of me to think that he
Yeah.
could have showed up in there with that gun and those explosives and turned them loose on those
Right.
old people.
Right.
Yeah.
It's scary. Yeah, and I don't know if there's any reason for his parents to be charged. It was just interesting that he was interested in Ethan Crumbley because that case,
Yeah.
involves parents who were also charged.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was known that he was up there long before. Apparently, a Secret Service sniper had him in his sights and was not
Mhm.
given permission to fire on him.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know why. There's so much we don't know.
Or what the hell did all of it, all of the balls that were dropped. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. He is an adult, and so it's not the same as Ethan Crumbley because he's an adult. Um, but I don't know.
And
I'm glad
apparently
to
they
finally
did call
start
the
seeing
police
some.
when
Oh,
they knew
did
the
they?
gun was missing. Yeah, that they're yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, I did not know that.
Mhm.
I'm just glad we're starting to get some details now of how did this even happen? But we definitely
Mhm.
don't know enough by any
No.
means
No.
about how or why that happened.
Mhm. There's still a lot to come out on this. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
excuse me.
Well, let's talk about James Craig. Do you guys remember James Craig? We haven't talked about
Yes.
this case in a hot minute. This is the dentist from Colorado. This was a Mormon misdeeds case. This is a dentist from Colorado who was having an affair with another healthcare professional that he'd met at a conference or was meeting up at conferences, other that I think lived in Las Vegas, and was ready to get his wife out of the picture, you know, as you do. So he decided to poison her. And wildly, it's not the first time because he'd poisoned her years past
Yeah.
and had been trying to get her trust back.
Yeah.
But what he did do
Mm.
is he used his dentist license to order some tasteless, odorless poisons like cyanide and poisoned her. He was making her morning smoothies and she was getting sicker and sicker, and then she died. And his trial has been pending. She died in March 2023.
Hmm.
So it was cyanide and tetrahydrozoline,
Oh yeah, the eye drops.
the eye drops. Yeah. So, and the reason he was caught was that after she died, his business partner noticed that on one of their work laptops, he had been searching for and ordering poisons. And so he turned that information over to the police, and that's how James was actually caught. But at any rate, his trial was supposed to be getting ready to start, and they've just managed to push it back. So his trial is now going to be in early December. It was supposed to be starting in August, but now it's going to be in December. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that one. That's one that we've just been kind of slowly waiting out here.
Hmm.
But there's two different. He. I don't understand why this is happening, but he has like the murder charges, but he also has later on they added a felony count of solicitation to commit tampering with physical evidence. You know, because he wanted
Hmm.
somebody to get a hold of that laptop and destroy it for him.
Right.
And so he has to go to court on that one next month. It's like those two trials aren't happening together. I don't know why that's not all just
It's
joined
really
together,
strange. Right? Why
but
isn't that just all one case?
I have no idea. Yeah. So that's what they're currently arguing about. But so we'll
Yeah.
watch that. So there is a hearing on August 15th on that. But December 2nd is when the murder trial in earnest will start.
Okay. Well,
So
that's definitely a
it was
trial we want to
actually
cover.
supposed to already happen, but one of the key witnesses was sick and they had to push it back. And now there's been other filings and blah, blah, blah. So here we are.
Mm,
Yeah.
it's taking forever.
Yeah. Yep. Crazy. So with that, let's see. I think all we have left is Delphi, right? We covered all your
Hmm.
cases. Yeah.
We did, yeah.
Oh, Jess said it's technically two different incidences of crime. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a real piece of work. He's put that woman through a lot over the
Yeah, he
years.
has. Yeah.
And the poor woman that he was having an affair with, she did not know any of those things and was
No.
absolutely horrified. Pretty sure she's not writing him in jail. I hope not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Lion said his business partner realized because he repackaged a package an intern had opened, but it was supposed to be kept closed because it was a gift for James' wife. Yeah.
Yeah. Cyanide. Great.
And there's some texts back and forth. It's a terrible case. He's such an
It
ass.
is. Yeah, it
I'm so
is.
sad for her. She was
It's
in the
also a Mormon
hospital.
misdeeds case.
It's a Mormon misdeeds case. They're an LDS family. Also, she was in the hospital 3 times. She was so ill and was failing so badly that she was back in the hospital 3 times, feeling faint and dizzy and unwell and vomiting, and they didn't figure it out. And then the last
No.
trip to the hospital resulted in her death.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Scary
it is.
that nobody caught it.
And here he's making her smoothies every morning because she's so sick when he's the one killing her.
Asshole.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah. So again, we'll keeping an eye on that one. But let's talk about Delphi. We haven't talked about Delphi in a hot minute, and there's a
Yeah.
big hearing happening next week. So there's a 3-day hearing next week. They're covering 10 outstanding motions.
Oh
This
boy.
Richard Allen was arrested nearly 2 years ago now, and this will be the first hearing on evidentiary issues because Judge Gold just doesn't feel like it. So finally, and in fact, she just makes a ruling out of thin air without any argument whatsoever. She doesn't bother to cite any case law or any reason why she rules things. She just throws this shit out, and that's just how it is. They've tried to
Okay.
get her removed from the case twice. Yet again, the Indiana Supreme Court has said no, Goal stays. I
Which
can't
great.
understand why.
Good
But
job,
let's go
Indiana.
through,
Ugh.
yeah, let's go through some of the things they're going to be arguing. They have also filed a fourth time for a Frank's hearing. And she'll just deny it again. It doesn't matter what they file for, she's just denying it. But we'll see. The hearing next week will not be televised because she doesn't allow any of that. So we'll be relying on the reporters and YouTubers that are in the room or podcasters that are in the room.
Right.
So here's some of the things that will be argued. The state's motion in limine that was filed on April 28th. They want the judge to forbid the defense from discussing the following at trial: personal attacks on state counsel, personal opinions about evidence, witnesses, outcomes, or penalties. The defense should not make comments not supported by admissible evidence. The defense should not attempt to indoctrinate the jury with substantive issues or prejudge the credibility of witnesses during jury selection. Hypothetical questions. The defense should not ask hypothetical questions. Irrelevant third party motives. The defense should not introduce evidence of third party motives that are irrelevant. Any references to 9 specific individuals, including Brad Holder, Keegan Klein, Elvis Fields, Ron Logan, etc., or concepts including Odinism, should be forbidden. Investigations by Todd Click. Any reference to investigations or reports by Todd Click. Geofencing evidence. Exclude state's own geofencing reports and or related testimony from FBI agent Horan, who prepared this data for the state's investigation. Prior bad acts of any witnesses unless relevant to the current charges. Discovery file labels. The defense should not comment on how discovery was labeled. PowerPoints and
What?
executive briefs references to PowerPoints or executive briefs from the investigation that are not relevant. The defense's response to the state's motion in limine, the summary is that they request a hearing and objects to all items based on a combination of the state's requests being overly broad, is unsupported by specific facts or law, and usurps defendants' Sixth Amendment rights to prevent a defense.
Right.
So that's
Like,
one thing.
you're taking away every opportunity that he's got to prevent a defense. They can't comment on the way that the evidence is labeled. Are you kidding me?
I mean, honestly, that motion in limine, if that's all granted, they don't have much of a defense at all. That pretty much takes
they
away
don't.
their right to speak.
They can't give any alternative to the crime? What the hell?
Mm-hmm. And she'll probably grant this because this is
She
Judge Gold.
probably will. Yeah.
And by the way, these handy dandy postcards were published on Twitter by Yellow Jacket. Yellow Jacket on Twitter is a true crimer who's been deep into this case. So big props to them, and definitely follow them if you're interested in Delphi.
Absolutely.
They will also be discussing the defendant's second motion to dismiss based on newly discovered, destroyed, and or missing exculpatory evidence. This was filed clear back on May 20th. The summary is dismiss charges for destroying, losing exculpatory evidence or potentially useful evidence in violation with the standards set out in Brady v. Maryland. This stuff kills me. Brad Holder's missing phone extraction data. All evidence of Brad Holder's second interview with law enforcement is missing. Mimicked crime scene images found on Brad Holder's social media is lost. Details exculpatory nature of lost, destroyed, missing items. Even if the court disagrees, the court should find the missing, destroyed evidence as potentially useful and dismiss charges. Missing portions of video from Jerry Holman's 10/26/2022 interrogation of Richard Allen. Jerry Holman lied in his 8/10/23 deposition that Brad Holder was never a suspect. He was. The prosecution failed to turn over the Todd Click exculpatory evidence for 4 months and then only turned it over after it was obvious that the defense would be learning of the evidence of the Click letter. The prosecution failed to turn over evidence contained in several videotaped statements until after the prosecution knew that the defense would soon learn of their existence. The prosecution and law enforcement attempted to conceal the identity of a Purdue professor whose testimony contradicted the sworn statement of Jerry Holman. If you remember this was the Purdue professor who said, yes, this crime scene is indicative of Odinism. And then Jerry Holman got on the stand and told Judge Gold that they couldn't remember the name of that Purdue professor, but they said that this had nothing to do with Odinism. Yeah, lied directly to Judge Gold's face. Shit. She apparently doesn't care.
She clearly doesn't.
Because then, of course, these guys found that Purdue professor who said, that's the opposite of what I said. I said this reeks of Odinism, the way all of the crime scene looked, the way the branches were set out, all of the runes that were carved. This is indicative of Odinism. And they lied directly to the court about that and have gotten away with it. Yeah. The prosecution failed to turn over key pieces of evidence for nearly 9 months, and then only after the defense kept requesting the prosecution for the same. Law enforcement concealed the Blotcher report until April 26, 2024. Toby Lesenby contradicted the sworn testimony of both Jerry Holman and Tony Liggett concerning the number of people involved in the murders. No recordings of Richard Allen's interview with Dan Doolin exists. The bad faith of law enforcement and prosecution proven through these examples.
Right.
It's jaw-dropping.
It is jaw-dropping.
And also, the defendant's motion to compel. The defense believes this was filed on April 23rd, 2024. The defense believes the state is intentionally withholding Brady Siglio material and has failed to turn over a wealth of discovery, including but not limited to a geofence warrant data from November 4th, 2019, phone data of Elvis Fields, February 13th, 2017, standards of operating procedures for evidence collection, chain of custody documents, photographs of bullet, PowerPoint presentations, FBI Behavioral Analysis Unit reports. They are demanding these items be turned over immediately.
Like the
So they've,
geofencing, they want the geofencing thrown out
yeah,
when like the defense doesn't get to have it, even
and they're
though
not allowed to mention it. Yeah.
yeah. What the hell?
Mm-hmm. The sanctions that the state has that the defense has requested. This court will instruct the jury that the prosecution received exculpatory evidence on May 1st, 2023, but failed to turn over that evidence for 4 months. Permit defense to play any video that was belatedly produced without objection. Prevent the prosecution from rebutting the evidence that Todd Click provided to the prosecution on May 1st, 2023. Prevent the prosecution from using any data or information extracted from Liberty German's phone in its evidentiary presentation. Order prosecution to explain in written form his reasons for delaying turning over the Todd Click evidence, the reasons he sent an email that it is filed with false statements and that misled the defense, and the reasons he failed to turn over a massive amount of evidence, but then chose to turn over that evidence to the defense between September 8th, 2023 and October 6th, just 4 days before requesting the court to dismiss defense counsel from the case. The defendant's motion to suppress filed April 15th, 2024. The summary is Richard Allen's rights were violated due to the extreme and coercive conditions of his pretrial detention, which led to involuntary statements, requesting the suppression of any incriminating statements made by Allen during his incarceration. State's objection to defendant's motion. State requests that the court not suppress statements made during Rick's incarceration, citing a lack of specific allegations and evidence to support claims of illegal coercion under the 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. State's motion for admissibility. Defense seeks to suppress Allen's statements on the grounds of coercion, while the state argues for their admissibility, citing a lack of evidence for coercion and legal exemptions. The defense motion to suppress the second statement, filed April 15th, 2024, the combination of failing to read Miranda rights, alleged intimidating behavior of Holman, and the missing video evidence all contribute to making Richard Allen's statements during his 10/26/2022 interrogation inadmissible in court. The defendant's motion to vacate safekeeping order. Vacate the safekeeping order, which forced Richard Allen to be held in solitary confinement at a maximum security prison for the last nearly 2 years, and move him to Cass County Jail or the Tippecanoe County Jail until trial. They argue that the original reasons for the order are no longer valid and logistical issues have been addressed. And there's a few more than that, but that's a pretty good taste of what next week will look like. They're allowing for 3
Wow.
days, and I can't imagine they're going to get through all of that in 3 days.
That's a
But
lot.
that's a lot. And if you're appalled at this point, you should be.
Yeah. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yep.
How does this get justice for Abby and Libby? And how does this preserve Richard Allen's rights? None of it does.
I don't know. It doesn't.
I don't either.
It doesn't.
It's insane.
I love this.
It's just insane.
We want none of these things to be talked about in the trial. You guys just show up and sit here and be quiet, and we'll convict your client.
Right. Like, what? Since when, man? Since when are you going to get any of that shit?
Mm-hmm.
And you created evidence, you did warrants for geofencing, and you don't want the defense to be able to use that information?
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. Awful. Absolutely awful. So we'll see. I would be incredibly surprised if any of those motions run in favor of the defense. And again, they've also filed for the 4th time for a Frank's hearing, which they will likely not get. And I would say that regardless of what happens, there are so many appealable things in this case that it's not even funny, but who the hell knows at this point? Because Indiana is looking pretty freaking corrupt. I'm astonished and flabbergasted.
I know. I am too. It's
And I feel
terrifying.
terrible for Libby and Abby, or Libby and, Abby?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, families. I feel terrible for them because this isn't justice. This isn't justice
No.
for their girls. This is not, whatever happens, this is going to be appealed into oblivion. And so they'll be dragged back into court a
Right.
million times if he's even acquitted, or if he isn't acquitted, which he very well may be, because they don't have much.
No, they don't. That's the problem. I mean, there's no way to know at this point if Richard Allen is actually guilty or not.
Yeah. Yeah. And yes, Aaron, meanwhile, he's become increasingly disabled mentally by leaving him in solitary confinement for so long and being held in a maximum security prison. Absolutely.
Right.
And his due process rights are continually violated because his attorneys can't meet with him without guards present.
Yeah.
So there's no attorney-client privilege on the table, and they can't give him anything more than like a notebook-sized piece of paper. You can't hand him a laptop. They can't just sit down and meet with their client one-on-one as they should be.
How is that being allowed? But
Yeah.
Jess, thank you for saying that. They can always go to the US Supreme Court because
Mhm.
they will be constitutional violations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he gets convicted, this will probably end up there, I would imagine.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and I agree, Tina. That's been my fear all along, and maybe that's the whole point, is that
Mhm.
he won't even survive to
Yep.
make it to trial.
I think so, and then they can just put a pin in it.
Yeah.
Then they can just say that the bad guy is gone and
And that
it's
they
all
did it.
done. Yep.
Yeah.
It's astonishing. I've never seen anything quite like this, though I'm sure it
I haven't
happens. This is a shocking one to me.
It's
I
so
really wish that
blatant.
was going to be streamed so we could watch it, but of course, Cole, she doesn't want cameras in her courtroom with all of this being shown to the world. But don't worry, the
No.
podcasters are taking care of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. All righty. Well, that's what we've got. Anything else?
Yes.
I
I
miss
think that's
anything?
it. I think that is it.
That was a lot. All righty. Well, please like, share, follow. Let's see. And thank you for the super chat. Jamie, thank you so much for the super chat. The super chat's on. If you want to contribute, you're welcome to.
Mhm.
No pressure there, but we do appreciate it. You can also tip us over at truecrimesquad.com if you'd like to do
Mhm.
that. And yeah, go check out the SoundCloud if you haven't. There's some real bangers over there.
There are. Go listen to the full versions of all those songs and tell us what
Yeah.
you think.
Yeah.
We're having a lot of fun with it, obviously.
Yeah. Well, someone needs to. All righty, guys. Well, please take good care of yourselves. We'll be
Ooh.
back tomorrow at 3:00 for our last live of the week, and we'll be all over it. Oh, Kaylin, I started into it. I didn't have enough time today, but wow.
Yeah, I started looking too, but yeah, it's going to take a little research time.
Yeah, Kaylin sent us a hell of a case.
Hmm.
Do you get another song tonight? Do you want the dark version? Should we just lead it out with dark version Lori or James and
Yeah.
Elena, and then we'll be done for the night?
Sure.
All right.
Let's
Well,
do it.
this will be the last you see us, so we love you. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
When darkness falls and stars from the sky, my heart beats wild, cause for you I die. Elena, my goddess, with a haunting smile, in your gaze I lose all guile. Oh, Elena, you ignite my darkest fire. In your embrace I find my twisted desire. Every touch, my soul's a fire. You're my queen, fueling my glowing fire. Her laughter echoes like a wicked tune. In her arms I'm consumed. Every glance, every sin she brings, in her love my darkness sings. Oh, Lilina, you ignite my darkest fire. In your embrace I find my twisted desire. Every touch, my soul's a fire. You're my queen, fueling my glowing fire. Her laughter echoes like a wicked tune. In her arms I'm consumed. Every glance, every sin she brings, in her love my darkness sings. Oh Lily, you ignite my darkest fire.